Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today I thought we would talk about something that people ask me about all the time. They ask me about it in my in some of the forum groups that I'm in, and some of my friends ask me this, family, that sort of thing. You know, driving a Tesla, buying a Tesla, deciding to go full 100% EV is definitely a lifestyle change. I'm not going to say that it isn't, because it is 100%. I grew up on internal combustion engines, just like most everybody else to this point anyway. So jumping into a Tesla, I had a lot of concerns, questions, some challenges that I thought I was going to have to overcome, that sort of thing. But now we're coming up on a year ownership. We're about 11 months into it, well over 10,000 miles on the car, plenty of opportunity to go on road trips, driving around town, daily commutes, that sort of thing. So it's given me the opportunity to kind of reflect a little bit on it, and I wanted to kind of touch on 5 things that you should, really, in fact, the only 5 things you should really be concerned about with the Tesla, because everything else falls in line. I mean, it is a vehicle just like anything else you've driven. So these are just gonna be 5 things, everything from, whether or not range anxiety is real, how much it costs to charge, and where and when do I charge it, stuff like that, space, storage, all that kind of stuff, all that good stuff is coming up. So sit back, relax. You guys are watching The Tall Tesla Guy. After 10 months, 11 months of ownership, we've had the opportunity to reflect on quite a few things. And in hindsight, I look back at some of the stuff I was nervous about in the beginning, and I can happily say that it didn't come to fruition and that it wasn't really a problem for the majority of it. Now, the number one thing that that people ask about all the time, certainly range anxiety, right? So now, range anxiety is something, and it's not even in my top 5, because of the fact that in reality, it's not something that you should worry about. You get 300 miles of range, give or take, with a Tesla. It's more than any other EV out there. And, on a day-to-day commute, driving to work, home, going to the grocery store, picking up the baby at daycare, grandma's house. I mean, in reality, I'm not even close to that. And I know I wasn't in my gas vehicle either. Now, I had 500 miles of range in my gas vehicle, so going down to 300, I thought for sure it was going to cause, some angst when I go on long road trips. It was going to cause some stress when I'm just driving around, having to charge and plug it all the time, and I can say that it is not an issue. The supercharger network for Tesla is so extensive, nationwide. There's thousands of them, and they're putting in thousands more. They're even amping up the kilowatt hours that they'll charge at to 300. It's going to make it even faster, almost as fast as a regular traditional car gas stop, which is great. And it's everywhere you need to be. So it's not even in my top 5 is range anxiety, just because it's not really a thing. And once you start driving a car, borrow it from a friend, take it on a long test drive. Sometimes they'll let you take them overnight. You're going to see too that it's not really a thing, range anxiety. So it's not even in my top 5. But one thing I will talk about though is the cost to charge. In fact, that's my number 1. I worried about it. It was my very first question I had to my friends that have a Tesla Model 3 before I even bought our Tesla Model Y. I wanted to know, well, how much do you pay to charge? And in reality, before getting an electric vehicle, I didn't care too much about my kilowatt hours, how much per, cents per kilowatt hour the electric company was charging me, because I didn't have a choice anyway. I needed electricity for my house, and that's what they were charging, so that's what I paid. But once I got the car, I was wondering, well, how much is this adding to my bill? Now, I can say, and there's hundreds of videos out there. In fact, I've got a few videos talking about it too, the actual cost to charge, based on the mileage that I've driven, the amount that we charge. We plug it in every night. We charge it to 80%. It added to our electricity bill about $30 a month, give or take, right? It's about $30 a month. As far as just the car alone, based on the kilowatt hours that we've used, it's been 30 bucks a month. Now, we were paying $30 per fill up on gas. Now, that was for our 500 mile range car. Now, we used, we were driving a little bit more maybe, or, filling it up once a week, say, once every week and a half. We also had another vehicle at the time. So we were spending at least $30 a week on gas, if not more. So the, $120 a month versus $30 a month for the Tesla is no comparison. I mean, we're saving quite a bit of money there, but you don't buy a Tesla because of the cost savings, because the vehicle itself is expensive and all that kind of stuff. But in reality, the cost of electricity is so much cheaper than the cost of gas. So the cost to charge there, but what you say to yourself, where else do you charge? Well, there's EV charging stations all over the country, all over the city where we live in. There's supercharger network that I talked about in the beginning that's really extensive. So you can say that you can charge any of those. And we went on a road trip just recently. In fact, you can check the link above to see the video of it. We charged it up to 80 and it cost us $7, something like that. So supercharging, even on a supercharger, is a considerable amount cheaper than buying gas. So, you know, cost to charge, 30 bucks a month at home, $7 a pop on a supercharger network. And the time it took about 20 minutes, 23 minutes or so. So it is more than a gas station, but luckily there's Netflix and the infotainment system to keep you entertained while you're doing it. So cost to charge, very minimal. That was my number one thing. Number two is I'm at 6'5". You guys know from my other videos, I'm tall, tallish anyway, at 6'5". I wanted to make sure that I fit in the car. My wife, she's not as tall as me, of course, but you know, I wanted her to be comfortable as well. And then we have a baby and a toddler even at that. So coming with a toddler in tow, we have a bunch of stuff. So I can say that Tesla is very spacious. I have plenty of headroom, about 3 inches above my head before this panoramic glass roof. I have plenty of room to move around in, legs, everything like that. From a space, it's probably the most spacious SUV, mid-size SUV that I've ever had, just because it's so roomy. And then all the storage in the front of the car. You have the 2 sub-trunks in the back, a really spacious back area anyway, because it's a hatchback. The space in the car is perfect. 68 cubic feet of cargo space with the seats folded down, which is comparable to any even larger mid-size SUVs, I guess, than just a Tesla. So more than enough space to do anything that you need to do in the car. And then number 3 is going to be the kid stuff. Now, we have a child, we have a toddler, like I said, so she comes in tow with tons of stuff, diaper bags and strollers and all that kind of. We have a Bob stroller, so it's a really big one. And then everything else we need, change of clothes, all that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a kid, we have a dog as well. So golden retriever dog, he's a big one, he's about 100 pounds. Takes up a lot of space. We take him on trips with us too, and he's got stuff that we bring with him too, like his dog bed and, you know, some of his blankets, things he needs and all that kind of thing, some of his toys. So whether you have a kid, a dog, or you just want to put a ton of stuff, like you head over to the store and you buy a bunch of groceries, you want to know that they fit. I can tell you that they will fit for sure, bar none, in this car. There is plenty of storage and car compartments and, you know, under the seat storage and all that kind of stuff. More than enough for 1, 2, even 3 children. I've seen people with 3 car seats back here. It would certainly be tight. We have an oversized car seat for no reason. And then on top of that, the dog in the back. So more than enough for the entire family, including our pet family, our 4-legged children. So kid dog space is definitely more than ample. So that's number 3 for me. Number 4 is the excitement of the drive. I wanted a car that not only would get me from point A to point B, but I wanted to actually enjoy being in it. And I can happily say that after going on some long road trips, I can say that this is the most comfortable car seat in any vehicle that I've ever driven in. It's really supple and soft and all that kind of stuff. It's got, you know, they have eliminated the pinch points that you get in a regular vehicle, so it's really nice, and it's just comfortable cabin spaciousness, like I said in number 2. So it's more than just a really comfortable ride, but it's an acceleration excitement as well. The funness of it, which isn't really a word, I guess, but you know, when you hit that accelerator and you take off, I mean, I don't race people or anything like that, but just knowing that you can if you want to, and the feel that you get, you put somebody in there the first time and they feel that, you know, almost like stomach dropping acceleration that you get when the light turns green, you know, that just adds to the excitement. It adds to how much you enjoy the vehicle. And we love the vehicle anyway, so you add that on top of that, it was just a kind of a cherry on top of the cake there. So, you know, a super fun car to drive, you know, super easy car to drive. It took me all of maybe, you know, 10 minutes to get used to the infotainment screen, getting used to, you know, the speed limit being on the right-hand side, or the speedometer, all that kind of stuff. Nothing in front of me. I don't miss it at all. In fact, I'm excited for the, you know, even maybe potentially the yoke steering wheel, but at least not shifting. I'm excited for that opportunity too. So, you know, the excitement that you get with a Tesla is, you know, unparalleled to any other vehicle that I've driven in anyway. So I can definitely say, even though it's number 4, I would almost put it as a number 1 thing, just because I love it so much. And then number 5, I can't have a top 5 list, because I said we have, you know, I'm often carrying my wife. I have my baby in tow. We have our dog in the back. Safety is paramount for me. You know, Teslas, not just the Model Y, but all the Teslas are 5-star, you know, top IIHS safety rated vehicles. In fact, it was the only car being the Model Y and the Model X, the only mid-sized to SUV type vehicle that they were not able to flip over. That was important to me, just because we got this panoramic glass roof anyway. I do know that the roof itself will support 4 times the weight of the vehicle, which is great, but you want to know that you're going to be safe. Somebody hits you, you hit somebody else, you know, you get in an unfortunate accident, something like that. I've got my entire family in here. My entire life is in this car when I'm driving around and we're going on trips. So I want to make sure that everybody in it is safe, and it was super important to me that Teslas are as safe as they are. You know, I know they're making continued improvements. They're taking the radar off, putting Tesla Vision on, full self-driving. All of that stuff aside, whether or not it's in the car, I wanted to make sure it was safe for everything that I have with it, and I'm glad to know that it is. So, you know, that kind of rounds up my top 5. It was the top 5 things that people ask me about all the time, but I wanted to kind of retouch on them to see if it's actually a concern of mine still. And like I said, I can happily say that they're not, and it's something that I definitely enjoy when you talk about the driving excitement. So, you know, you guys know the routine. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Let me know the kind of videos you guys want to see. I really hope you guys are having a fantastic day, week, month so far, and that you're being able to get out there and enjoy some good weather if you have it there, or that, you know, at the very least, that you're staying safe out there. Thanks for watching, everybody.